At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV! Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Hi, Diva. It's Rachel.
And Jordan. Yeah, hi. Quick question.
Why are you not spending your Venmo balance?
Yeah, we're concerned.
You can, buy stuff with it.
Ugh, you love buying stuff.
And earn cash back on eligible purchases.
You love purchasing eligible things.
So the money your friend sent you yesterday, that's today's ramen or rideshare or eye patches.
The skincare kind, not the pyro kind.
Spend with Venmo, and you can earn cash back with Venmo Stash. Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. ID verification required to use a Venmo balance.
Tom and Jerry are finding Emily with Charlie the Wonderdog, and Jack Ryan's facing the Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Adam Ball, and this is Off Screen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom!
Groovy.
Well, hello, and welcome back to another week of Off Screen then. As you heard then, we have a load of brand new movies to talk about. We're going to look at Finding Emily. We've got Jack Ryan Ghost War in a minute. But as always, let's start the show with a look at UK and Ireland's top 10 movies. The box office, how's it looking right now? Oh, okay. I'm wondering how many of these are going to be ones you haven't seen.
Two, exactly two. And obviously, we know that I haven't seen The Devil Wears Prada 2 yet.
Yeah.
But obviously, number 10, Athiradi, which a foreign language film, obviously from the title, I have not seen. I've never heard of a press show for that. I do not think that was press shown at all, so I'm somewhat forgiven. Although we are going to talk about a film this week that I frankly can't believe was shown to the press. Like, I'm gobsmacked. I wasn't even at that press show. I watched it on a link at home, and I heard about like the mood in the room, and I would have paid money to have been there because I had the same experience at home. But we'll get to that. So do you want to start with number 9? Because I think you might have seen number 9.
Number 9, Shrek. It's been out a week. And it's on 242,000. So I don't understand. What is this? Is this like some sort of reshow?
It's Shrek. It's the original Shrek because it's the 25th anniversary of Shrek. I don't know if you remember this, but 25 years ago, Shrek was released. And then because of its undeniable kind of quality, they had to invent an entire new Oscar category for it, the Best Animated Feature. There you go. Shrek was the first movie to win Best Animated Feature. They had to invent it for it. I've seen the movie back, I think about a year ago now. And the first Shrek, it holds up. I have issues with Shrek generally. I think it gives a really mixed message to children. Namely, the prominent thing being, its central message is it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts. But oh look, the bad guy's short. Hee, that's funny. Like, it's kind of a weird mixed message to give to children. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is why guys grow up and go on dating apps and get such a complex about like 5'2" women demanding that men be at least 6 foot tall. You know what I mean? It doesn't help matters. But you know what? Shrek's back. I'm sure it's just as fun on the big screen as it was the 3 or 4 times I saw it 25 years ago on the big screen.
Well, that's at number 9. And number 8, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. 8 weeks it's been out now. And it's sitting on 37 million quid. I thought it would be more than that after 8 weeks.
But you got to remember, I mean, first of all, this is the UK box office. Like, that amount of money in the UK is the equivalent to about 150 or 200 in the US. You know, you adjust for population size accordingly, kind of thing. Adjust for population, number of cinemas, things like that. And to be fair, I've had like adult video game playing Nintendo nerd friends of mine. 2 of them leap to mind immediately, who have seen this movie for the very first time in this past fortnight. And they're fans. And they did share my sort of philosophy. They did come back to me when I saw them, like both of them, and said like, yeah, I don't get why people are complaining about that. It's a Mario movie. I went, that's what I said. You know?
True.
It's a Mario. He does some jumping. He breaks some bricks. He rides Yoshi. It's a Mario movie. You're not expecting, the next Hamnet out of that. And yeah, I would argue this movie, I don't think it's going to leave the box office top 10 next week. Like, I don't think it will. I think next week we'll have Mandalorian and Grogu at like number 1, but other than that, Mario Galaxy will be at worst number 10. No, I live to be proven wrong, but we shall see.
I still think Michael's going to be at number 1 next week. I think he's got another week or two in him, but we'll see. We'll get there. Number 7, The Christophers. That's only been out a week. That's on 397,000 quid.
Now, I'm actually surprised this made the box office top 10. We talked about it last week, if you remember.
Yeah.
This is the Ian McKellen and Michaela Cole dramedy, more emphasis on the drama. And I thought, very sweet little movie. I kind of wanted more of it, so I kind of wanted it to go further than it actually did. But I quite like it, and I would imagine this is something that has very much appealed to the Grey Pound, as Bex used to call it. Like, it's a movie that made most of its money on Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's at number 7. Well,
number 6. Have you seen number 6, Adam? I don't know. You've never mentioned it. Have you seen what's at number 6?
I've never even heard of number 6. There's a movie on its 40th anniversary called Top Gun. It's been out for 2 weeks, apparently.
We should explain to the audience that a couple of years ago you and I went to Kensington Palace to watch this movie.
We did, on a massive screen.
On a massive screen with, I think they had an exhibition of Diana's dresses going on. We met the cast of Ted Lasso, and most importantly, I met Roxanne McKee, which was like a spiritual moment for me. That was a good night. That one. We had a good time, and then if my memory serves, you got lost.
No, I got locked in.
You got locked in. Didn't you get detained by like the palace guard or something?
I got locked into Kensington Palace. It was dark and everyone had left, and me and my mate who came with us to meet you, we were walking around, and I was like, I'm going to have to jump this fence to get out. And as I started to climb the fence, an armed guard came, pointed a gun at me and told me to get down. So, yeah, it was an awkward evening.
That's what happens when you try to break into Kensington Palace, my friend. Did you?
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. You should have paused it. It's okay. I'm with the BBC.
Honestly, I had to run.
Yeah, it's a banger though, isn't it? I mean, I'll let you talk about Top Gun. You're more a fan than I am. Go on.
I can't believe it's 40 years. That's absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the biggies from the 80s, really, isn't it? You know, Tom Cruise.
Does it hold up? Do you think it holds up?
Oh, if that came out today, I still think it would get away as a new movie. Like, even all the plane scenes were so ahead of its day back then that now they don't really stand out as being from the 80s.
Right, it wasn't until Maverick came out, actually, because we saw the Kensington Palace screen. I think it was about a year before Maverick, if memory serves.
That's right.
And it's only after Maverick, when you watched the original Top Gun back, you're like, well, now I can actually spot that they're Airfix models. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like that. But it's very good on its own terms until you see Maverick and you see, like, the 21st century sort of follow-up to it. But,
of course.
Yeah, banger. And they're selling the flight helmet popcorn buckets. I don't know if you've seen these.
No, what, the Maverick helmet?
Yeah, you could buy Iceman and Maverick, I think. They have actual flight helmet popcorn buckets. Pop down your nearest like multiplex. They've got they're all the rage on like TikTok at the moment. The actual visor slides back and the popcorn's inside.
Oh, that'd be great to keep, wouldn't it?
Be a good collectible, that, wouldn't it?
Well, it's doing all right. Number 6 this week on 520,000. I mean, 520,000 more than it made before, so who's going to complain?
Can't complain, yeah.
At number 5, Mortal Kombat 2. It's been out for 2 weeks now. It's on 2.8 million.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's trash, but you know what? You could be trash and still be fun. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how Jodie Marsh had a career. But you know, I think it's a good old-fashioned, you know, balls to the wall, bare knuckle brawler. But it's got that sort of fun lantern-jawed video game charm. And Carl Urban steals it, as you'd imagine. There's a really hilarious thing where they keep, you know, going out of their way to fridge all the least enjoyed elements of the first movie. And the funniest part is you don't even need to have seen the first one, because I'm reasonably sure 90% of the people in the room at my screening hadn't. Most of them didn't remember it. And they go out of their way to actually give you all the exposition in the movie at the start when they introduce Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. Oh, here's how Mortal Kombat works. And you're like, wow, that should have been the trailer. Thank you. So, yeah, I had a good time.
At number 4 this week is Obsession. That's been out for a week now, 1.3 million.
Banger. Absolute banger. I don't know anyone that's got to see it that hasn't loved it, actually.
Yeah.
Everybody is a fan of this. Indy Navarrete from Superman and Lois, who's the sort of female lead here, she's already, like, she's established now as an absolute horror breakout. Just for the no kind of shtick with the blood dripping down. Like, she's become the viral kind of horror thing of the year so far. Like, she's this year's Mathregan, if you know what I mean. Or you know, I prefer Mathregan to Megan, but yeah, she's this year's one of those. And I think Curry Barker's brought something really solid to the screen here. Apparently his follow-up feature is already filmed. I think it's got Aaron Paul in it, and apparently it's about basically like TV ghost hunters or YouTube ghost hunters who accidentally stumble upon a real ghost. Like, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Obsession. I think it does a really good job of exploring sort of a very cliched male fantasy turned nightmare, whilst at the same time doing a really in-depth look at the loss of female agency. And the way Navarrete plays that, I think, is superb.
Well, you can see the Sheep Detectives. That's what we're talking about next. You can see Obsession because it's been out for a week and it's still in the cinemas now. Now, as I said, number 3, it's the movie I really want to see with my boy, The Sheep Detectives. It's been out a couple of weeks now, and I'm not surprised it's sat on 5.5 million.
Do you know, honestly, this is kind of the perfect bank holiday movie as well. You should if you take him to the pictures, like one of the quieter days on bank holiday, and he will have a blast, because I can't imagine any child, or my nephew would go nuts for this movie. Because they're about the same age. Your son and my nephew are about the same age. I know for a fact Henry would lose his marbles over this movie. Just as soon as the sheep start to talking to each other, he'd just be in on that. Like, obviously the murder mystery stuff and the existential stuff will go over their heads, but that's kind of there for the parents. Yeah. Like, for the kids, this is the new Babe the Gallant Pig, effectively, and it kind of plays that way. I think it's got heart, it's got soul, it's got charm, it's got surprising depth and darkness, which I didn't expect. I'm a huge fan of this one.
At number 2 this week is The Devil Wears Prada 2. As you said, you haven't yet seen that. It's been out 3 weeks.
The movie about how journalism is sacred and should be protected at all costs, but they would only allow influencers to see it? Oh, that one!
That one!
That one! Oh, yeah, that one I know now. Yeah, sorry, slipped my mind. Yeah.
So you haven't managed to see it yet. 27 million, that's sat on at number 2. And as I allude to earlier, Michael is at number 1 with 40 million quid. And you did say this was going to happen.
I've said to you before, and I'll say it again, this thing will make $1 billion. And that now seems like the easiest bet in the universe, because I think it's crossed 800 globally.
Wow.
It cost 800 million globally. So it's a really easy bet now that it makes $1 billion. I mean, I sounded like a prophet when I said that like 6 weeks, 2 months ago. But now it's kind of the easiest bet in the universe. It is what it is. I mean, I would imagine for the amount of money that's made in the UK, that screams to me that this is a film that's making a lot of money out of people seeing it multiple times. You know what I mean? This is one that people have gone back to. And I've been at screenings. I think, when I was at Mortal Kombat, in fact, there were 2 young ladies coming up the escalator behind us, dressed as MJ, doing the hoo hee hee nonsense, going up there. And we were a little inebriated already, to be honest, but we were giggling our asses off.
I bet you were.
And we were sat there thinking, oh, they're clearly here to see Mortal Kombat as well. One of those where they go to the box office, 2 tickets for what movie? Take a guess.
Scream, obviously.
Yeah. I'm here to see Obsession, yeah.
Well, there you go then. That is a look at the box office numbers for this week. We are going to dive into this week's first new movie, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, Ghost War. We're going to see what Van thought of that in just a sec.
One crunchy bite of a Hershey's cookies and cream bar, and I'm taken right back to college moving day. I was a little overwhelmed by the newness of it all. Boxes were everywhere, I needed a break from unpacking. But just as I was able to take a breath and open my Hershey's cookies and cream bar, my new roommate Rachel walked in. I offered her a piece, but she said no. Then after a beat, she said, actually, those are my favorite ones. We laughed. The ice was broken, and we've been friends ever since.
Hershey's. It's your happy place.
Hey, I like your new RAV4.
Thanks, yours too.
What does RAV stand for anyway?
To me, it's the Remarkably Advanced Vehicle.
Really? To me, it's the Runway Approved Vehicle for its amazing style.
What about Remarkably Adaptable Vehicle because of its versatile cargo space?
Or Really Admired Vehicle?
Oh, or Really Awesome Vehicle.
It really is the recreational activity vehicle. The stylish 2026 Toyota RAV4 Limited. What's your RAV4?
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. We've got Finding Emily to check out in a moment. We'll see what Van thought of that one. After another new release this week, Jack Ryan, Ghost War. So, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan.
That's it, isn't it? Because I wrote it down as Jack Ryan Ghost War, but it's actually Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Do you know what it is? It's because the video games made this a thing. Do you know when they started making Tom Clancy video games, everything was Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy's blah-de-blah. I'll be honest, I can't name any of the games beyond Rainbow Six.
Who is Tom Clancy?
Tom Clancy, he's your dad's favourite airport author, as I call him. I'm pretty sure that 95% of Tom Clancy novels are sold exclusively in airport Waterstones. Like, because that's kind of... And there's a joke about it in Modern Family, actually. There is actually a joke in the show Modern Family where the granddad acknowledges, look, I'm on vacation. All I want to do is sit and read my Tom Clancy novel. You know, like, there it is. I've been proven right. I love that. So, are you aware of Jack Ryan as a character?
No, I'm not going to lie about it. You tell me from the start.
So he is a CIA analyst in the Tom Clancy universe. He basically gets sort of caught up in spy adventures. He never does it sort of voluntarily. There's a sort of a John McClane, Jack Bauer kind of an element about him where he sort of just finds himself drawn into these adventures. And there are dozens upon dozens of these books. I mean, the character at one point becomes president. It goes on for decades, like this series. Brought to the screen for the very first time in 1990 by John McTiernan in The Hunt for Red October, in which he was played by Alec Baldwin. 2 years after that, Harrison Ford took on the role for the first time in Patriot Games, and I think another 2 years after that, Ford reprised the role. He was the only film actor to do it twice in Philip Noyce's Clear and Present Danger. We then had a post-9/11 reboot in 2001, sort of accidentally post-9/11, in which Ben Affleck played the character in The Sum of All Fears, and the very first press junket I ever worked was for the next one in 2014, in which they did another prequel reboot attempt starring Chris Pine, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. Now, the character is mostly known for a Prime Video series, an Amazon Prime Video series, in which he's played by John Krasinski. You know John Krasinski, who used to be in The Office and played Reed Richards in Doctor Strange? Yeah. And actually, he's kind of perfect for the role. The series has had 3 or 4 seasons. I've not seen the last couple of them. It was a pretty good show, but it's kind of like, 24 with no calories, for lack of a better term. It's Diet 24. It's not Die Hard, it's Die Soft kind of a thing.
Just 20.
It's just 20, not 24. And I actually am rewatching 24 at the moment. It's one of my favourite all-time shows, which is why I feel very comfortable referring to Jack Ryan as the second best Jack. So, this time around, Jack Ryan, in a feature film, this is a film that's gone to Prime, but it's a feature film. I had to go to a proper press show for this. Do a spy-themed escape room afterwards as well. And the idea is he has left the life. He has gone into civilian life. He's working in a hedge fund on Wall Street. And Greer, his mentor / friend who he worked for previously, and his former colleague Mike, come to him one day on his way to work. Say, look, we need a favour. Would you mind just popping to Dubai and just meeting this guy and picking up some files for us? And he's like, it's never just meeting a guy. And this he keeps saying this, I just want you to meet a guy. He's like, it's never just meeting a guy. And he goes along, and wouldn't you know, it's never just meeting a guy. Because 5 seconds later, the guy's been shot. We're having a speedboat chase down the Dubai marina. By the way, tons of locations in this movie that I personally know quite well. Like, my mum's house is in this movie. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
At one point, they fly a drone over RAF Mildenhall. And you literally fly over my mum's house. It's the weirdest feeling. Anyway. So he finds himself on the run with an MI6 agent played by Sienna Miller, his friend Mike as well, and Greer in tow, and they find themselves being hunted by a disbanded former post-9/11 anti-terrorism unit who are seeking to use the methodology of all the terror cells they've taken down in order to justify their existence to be revived this late into the 21st century. It's pretty good fun. I've got a clip for you, though. This will set the tone nicely. This is Sienna Miller doing the whole chain-smoking interrogation thing with none other than Jack Ryan.
Sit.
So who was he?
Oh, we'll find out as soon as the police have time with the body. Your friend in there, Mike November, he has people looking for him in Dubrovnik. The kind of people I wouldn't mind owing me a favor. I can get him a jet chartered there in an hour. And you, Jack Ryan, I'm sure you're about to tell me that you're a civilian.
That's because I am.
That's good. Make things easier for Emirati intelligence because you're their prime suspect in a double homicide.
Really? Even though you're the one who pulled the trigger?
From what angle? You heard the shot and you saw me appear from the opposite side. Come on. I heard you were smarter than this.
I quite like the sound of this, you know. I feel like this would be a really nice, because this is on Amazon Prime now already. This would be like a nice, rainy weekday evening, have your dinner, and then settle down in front of the TV with a decent movie.
Yeah, it's a tidy 105 minutes, like an hour 45. It's literally, I mean, we're going to say this about another film later on today as well, which is, you're probably going to figure it out from what I'm about to say, which is the problem here is, it's come from a streaming show that has already been made to the standards of a feature film. So you're not getting anything here that you weren't already getting in the series. However, that series was already made pretty damn well, so that's not much of a complaint. Like I say, Krasinski I like very much in the role. Michael Kelly steals this, but Kelly steals everything he's in. I mean, the only time he's ever been criminally wasted was by Zack Snyder in Man of Steel. Sienna Miller, I think, is quite a good new addition to the cast. I like Max Beasley as the villain, actually. Like, I'm a Beasley fan anyway, going back to, like, Hotel Babylon. But he makes for a great villain here. And, of course, Wendell Pierce as Greer. I adore that, man. He's one of those guys, turns up on screen, and every time he does, you're just like, oh, I love that guy. It's good, slick, solid spy action. If what we've said so far doesn't excite you, then it's not for you, clearly. And to be fair, if you're familiar with Jack Ryan, you're probably going to want to see this anyway. So I'd call it a win. Definitely turn it on. It's on Prime now. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War.
Yeah, don't forget the Jack Ryan. Tom Clancy.
The Jack Ryan's the bit we should forget, yeah.
Right, if you do want to see it, you can. And if you already subscribe to Amazon Prime, you don't even need to leave the house, and it's not going to cost you anything. It's on Prime Video now. All right, on to the cinema. Finding Emily. So this is a romantic comedy, right?
Yeah. So this is a British set, in fact, Manchester set, very specifically, rom-com. It's like a 12A rated rom-com. I actually thought it was a bit harder. It stars Angourie Rice and Spike Fern. Spike Fern is Owen, who is a sort of love-struck musician. He's a sort of down-on-his-luck musician. He works as a sound engineer in the student union. And one night has this meet-cute with the girl of his dreams, who he gets on famously with. Her name is Emily. And he gets her number. They have a fantastic night together in this place. He gets her number. The next day, he goes to call her, only to find the number's one digit short. And oh yeah, your face, like mine, just like, yeah, we've all been there.
Been there, done that.
Was it intentional? Was it accidental? That actually is the plot of the movie. So he starts searching for Emily. You know, just has the name Emily's got. Doesn't know her last name or anything like that. And he comes across a psychology student named Emily, played by Angourie Rice, who sees the opportunity to develop the ultimate, like, final thesis for her course in him by helping him find the real Emily. And he does this by going onto the student email database, typing in the name Emily, and emailing all 300 of them that come up. Ooh. Only to find himself turned into a viral sensation when the question is then somewhat logically asked, is this romantic or is it stalking? And you can probably guess what kind of movie you're in for from there. So I've got a clip for you. Here you go. This is Finding Emily.
Last night, I met this girl called Emily. Felt like time stood still. No, what are you saying? No fault.
So when are you seeing her again?
Don't know, no message yet. It won't send.
It's missing a digit.
It's missing a digit. It's not funny. Good morning. I'm looking for a student. Emily? Just funny, smart, drinks beer, bottles, Saturdays about here. She's like,
You've got 2 seconds to leave before I call security, all right?
Yeah, okay, all right.
I really like the sound of this. I mean, personally, I've never been given a missing digit. What's happened before for me in my 20s, I was given a number which I called, and then a guy answered. So, similar.
We've all had our incidents.
Yeah.
You live, you learn. Right, this is about as cute as it is clunky.
Oh.
And that's on every level. Like, the performances are as cute as they are clunky. Like, Angourie Rice's performance, very cute. Spike Fern's, beyond clunky. The script, 50% cute, 50% clunky. The politics of it, cute, clunky. And that balance never works itself out. I think that Spike Fern might be the single worst lead I've seen in a movie this year so far. And that's interesting because one of the films I'm going to talk about today is actually one of the worst films I've seen this year. It's not this one. This is, at least this is 50% cute. But some of it works, some of it doesn't. But the laughs that are there are actually quite hearty laughs. I did find myself chuckling quite a bit through it. I wasn't quite as charmed by it as I wanted because, like I say, the cringe factor and the clunkiness are kind of overwhelming. And I can only imagine this is a loose remake. Whether it's intentional or not, I have to imagine this is a loose remake of the forgotten 2000 rom-com 100 Girls, which nobody who didn't hang out in video stores has ever seen. Right? It had a sequel called 100 Women, funnily enough, but it was the exact same concept as this. Guy got stuck in a lift with a girl with the power cut off, and they really connected, and the next day he had to go around the building trying to find out who she was, and he met 100 girls. Right, I'm like, this is so weirdly similar to that. I mean, if it was intentional, I can only imagine that they thought no one would notice, but haha, caught you. At least it's a better film than that. I'll give it that. But Spike Fern, like I say, he is truly terrible in this. I mean, some of the dialogue in this is, agonizingly bad. You've got this political activist villain figure who's meant to be this, like, feminist warrior, who's just the most irritating character you've ever seen as well. I mean, she's meant to be sort of one of the antagonists of this. But there's some great gags. Minnie Driver turns up as the dean of the university, which I thought, okay, that's quite good. I'm always happy to see Minnie Driver back. I rewatched Good Will Hunting recently. I love Minnie Driver, but it's nice to see her again. But yeah, like I say, 50% cute, 50% clunky, and for me, the clunk wins out.
Well, if you want to make your own mind up, you can. Finding Emily is in cinemas from today.
I will say this, Finding Nemo was sexier.
Well, there you go. Make your decision based on that, and go and see it if you like. Next, then, we're going to talk about a dog with superpowers who's been abducted by aliens. We're going to see what Van thought to Charlie the Wonderdog in just a second. Hello and welcome back then to Off Screen. We're going to dive into the movie Tom and Jerry Forbidden Compass in a moment. But right now, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to look at a dog that's gained superpowers after he was abducted by aliens. It's Charlie and the Wonderdog. Van, it's over to you.
I just said to you off mic, I'm annoyed that you read up on that because I was really looking forward to telling you that that's how he got them. Okay, so animated movie. And I believe this is one that was not originally done in English, but has sort of been redubbed. And Owen Wilson has taken on the voice of Charlie. Like,
really?
The big name on this is Owen Wilson. And if you're keeping track, by the way, that makes this film number 3 of Owen Wilson's to involve dogs. Because they are, in order, Marley and Me, Marmaduke, Charlie the Wonderdog. Right, basic premise here is you've got an old wheezing dog who's he's his owner, this little boy's best friend. And one day, as you say, he's abducted by aliens, along with a bunch of other pets from around the neighbourhood. And they are experimented on by a sort of spoilt child alien prince who just wants them as an experiment. And when he's bored, he just shunts them out into space. Like, literally disposes of them into space. I think I had this in my notes, 25 minutes, and we're committing euthanasia. And that's a thing that happens. However, his mum, the alien mum, says, don't do that, bring those animals back inside. And the animals are then returned to Earth without really acknowledging that they have superpowers. Charlie has, Superman abilities, and it turns out that the cat that lives next door also now has superpowers. He has psychic powers and telekinesis, and he set his mind on becoming the world's greatest villain. So on the one hand, you have Superman, on the other hand, you have telepathic Lex Luthor. Here is a clip of them basically figuring out how they're going to be the hero and villain.
Remember we used to play Wonderdog? Now you are Wonderdog. Charlie the Wonderdog. This is amazing.
Just imagine all the wonderful, terrible things we can do! Save a whale, sink a ship, save a train, crash a plane! It's gonna be amazing! Devastating!
Yes!
Just remember who's in charge.
I mean, it's listed as a comedy. Is there any comedy in it?
I mean, there is an attempt at comedy, I think, but I've never been in a serious accident and hadn't been cognitively impaired enough to find this level of comedy actually funny. So, no, is the short answer.
That's a shame.
So, put it this way, of the 3 dog movies Owen Wilson now has to his name, this is somehow the worst. And I say that as someone who saw Marmaduke in theatres. So, I mean, come on. On one hand, you can count how many human beings you've ever encountered who went to the cinema, who've seen Marmaduke, let alone went to the cinema to do it. And, yeah, no. It's worth noting this is an Owen Wilson movie in which he surprisingly never says, wow. But...
See, I'd have found that funny if they'd have made sure he did say that.
That actually would have been kind of funny. But
yeah.
No, this is... I mean, it's a mongrel cross of Meteor Man and G-Force, for lack of a better term, if you've ever seen either of those, and both kind of involve the same kind of concept. This just does not work on any feasible level. It's decently animated. Like, it's better animated than it has any business being. Like, so obviously some money's gone into the animation studio on this one. But my God, is it a chore. Like, it's an hour and a half. And oh my God, you feel every minute. Like, you will feel every minute. Is it an hour and a half or 95? Let me just confirm that. It's 95. Yeah. Because believe me, those 5 minutes make a difference. Because those are 5 long minutes. Because every minute of this is long. And then the weirdest part is you get to the very end. And the theme song pops up. And I hadn't noticed when the credit had come. A friend of mine told me afterwards, it was in the credits at the beginning. Theme song by Bryan Adams. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I don't somehow imagine that this movie theme song is going to spend 16 weeks at number 1 on the UK UK music charts. Do you?
I mean, is it a new song that he's written for the movie, or have they just taken one of his oldies?
I think it's one that he had already recorded but had not released.
How weird!
Because the artwork for it, I Shazammed it, and the artwork it brought up on Spotify did not in any way involve Charlie the Wonderdog. It was just a generic Bryan Adams thing. And it had, like, the song, and then it has, in parentheses, theme from Charlie the Wonderdog. I'm like, oh, okay, weird. But, do you know what? I've never in my life felt worse for Bryan Adams. Never thought I'd say that. I feel really bad. Do you know, the man who gave us 18 Till I Die, the man who gave us the banger that was the only thing that looks good on me is you, has fallen to this depth. And do you know what? That's somehow the greatest insult of all. That's somehow the worst. He like Owen Wilson, I think at this stage, they need to go the way of Marley. Clearly, they need to go the way that Marley did at the end of that movie. No, this will not do. Nah.
It's not like they need the money though. Let's be honest.
No, I see. And the best part is, this is going to make no money. Because, let's be honest, no one's going to pay to see this theatrically. Nobody's buying a physical disc of it because it's 2026. And if it's on a streamer, it's mostly going to get ignored whilst the kids play with their tablets or whatever.
Very good point. Well, I mean, if you do, there's a small chance after what Vanna said you want to go and see it. You can see Charlie the Wonderdog. It's in cinemas from today.
I mean, if you've seen Jack Ryan and you yourself want to experience what it's like to torture and interrogate a person, put them in Charlie the Wonderdog.
Right, we're going to take you back to, long time ago now, because Tom and Jerry. There is a new movie out called Tom and Jerry, Forbidden Compass. I don't know anything about this. Is it any good?
Well, first of all, no one knew anything about this because the number of animation nerd friends of mine that I said to this week, I turned to them and said, I'm watching. I've got a link for that new Tom and Jerry movie. I'm going to watch it at home. You want to come around? They're like, there's a new Tom and Jerry movie? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, wow. I had no idea. Right. Let that be a marker here. Right. So, this movie, which is CG animated. This is CG animated. Features Tom and Jerry centered around the New York Natural History Museum. Right? Tom is working as a security guard and trying to kill Jerry just kind of because. And it so happens that the museum is hosting this exhibit of Chinese artifacts, Chinese artworks and artifacts. And there is this amulet necklace thing that they accidentally knock over in one of their little battles that transports them through time to ancient feudal China, where they are mistaken for gods and then become sidekicks in a story about fallen warriors and angels from the afterlife. And I'll be honest, that's all I can tell you because I really zoned out. I really did. I tried. I didn't look away. I did not look away from that screen at any point. I didn't check my phone. I didn't do any. I took notes, and most of those notes, I'm not even kidding, for 2 pages are what am I doing here? I don't know what this is. I have a theory, and I want to float this to you. Okay. Based on the names of the crew that are on this movie, the production companies that are on the beginning, the whole Chinese exhibition, ancient feudal China, all this stuff, I've got a theory that this is actually some sort of state-sanctioned Chinese psyop designed to indoctrinate children to pledge fealty to the Middle Kingdom. All hail Xi Jinping. But, you know, it's one of those where by the end of the movie, and I understand, because by the end of the movie I was so bored. I was honestly so numbed to it that by the end of the movie, if you prodded me hard enough, I genuinely would have turned Kent Brockman style to you and said, I, for one, welcome our new communist overlords. And that would have been the end of it. It's agonizing. I mean, for one thing, it's the fact that Tom and Jerry are supporting players in a movie literally called Tom and Jerry. And that's before I get to the fact that for the 3rd time in 30 years, I have to genuinely ask the question, how in the hell do you screw up Tom and Jerry? Like, of all the concepts to ever give a movie to that should be seemingly impossible to get wrong, surely Tom and Jerry's it. Sure, like, you'd have to really actively try to get Tom and Jerry wrong. And yet somehow not only has this happened before, twice, they've now managed to do it again and make the worst one yet. And for anyone who's out there who's like a full-blown animation dweeb like me, I am in that context including the 1993 animated Tom and Jerry the movie, 2021's Chloe Moretz starring live-action animation hybrid Tom and Jerry, and now Tom and Jerry Forbidden Compass. This is the worst one. And if you saw either of those two, particularly the last one, you'd understand it's a very low bar to clear with Tom and Jerry. I mean, the animation isn't especially any good. It really does look like a generic sort of Chinese Power Rangers type nonsense thing that's then had Tom and Jerry. Literally, Tom and Jerry could be replaced in this by any characters in the... They don't even need to be Tom and Jerry. Like, but if you wanted established characters, there were far more neglected characters you could have wasted on this instead. Do Speedy Gonzales. Have Speedy Gonzales do it. Ain't nobody asking for a Speedy Gonzales. Woody Woodpecker. Woody the Woodpecker.
To me, personally, I just feel like they've overcomplicated it. Like Tom and Jerry, its actual roots are, Tom knocks a guitar over onto Jerry and then they run around the house and over under the sofa. Going to China and doing all this stuff is it's too much. Too much.
I mean, the weird thing is, it's like conceptually, this is not a million miles removed from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Turtles in Time. But I have to say, that is a vastly superior movie to this. And nobody likes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Turtles in Time. Like, everyone pretty much thinks that was the worst one of that trilogy. But yeah, do you know, after watching this, I look back on that now a lot more fondly.
Well, you can go and make your own mind up about Tom and Jerry if you...
Just don't. Honestly, I gave this 1 star, and I am calling it the worst movie I have seen this year.
How about this then? If it gets hot for you next week and you need some air conditioning, go and see Tom and Jerry Forbidden Compass. It's on in cinemas from today.
You get a nap. Yeah, you get a nap out of it in the air.
And a sleep. Yeah, 1 hour and 35 minutes of pure cold air and a nice comfy chair. Right, well, we've got one left. It's the big one this week. The Mandalorian and Grogu. We're going to see what Van thought of that in just a sec.
Picture this. Me, Reese Witherspoon, in London, ordering fish and chips so often they might start wrapping me in paper. I'm traveling with my Wells Fargo Autograph Journey card, so I earn rewards wherever I book travel. 5 times points with hotels, 4 times with airlines, 3 times on restaurants and other travel, and 1 point on other purchases. Imagine getting rewarded for eating a toad in the hole. Wait, what is a toad in a hole?
Visit wellsfargo.com/autograph journey. Terms apply.
The road to the NBA Finals ends here, with star guards setting the tone. The Cavs eye another upset, while the Knicks carry the dreams of all of New York. The Eastern Conference Finals continue on ESPN and ABC.
and welcome back to Off Screen. If I had a mixing desk and some faders right now, I'd be fading up some music of Star Wars in the background, going da 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 da. But I haven't got it. So unfortunately, I'm just going to have to introduce our next movie that Van's going to talk about, which is Star Wars, The Mandalorian. And am I getting this right? Is it Grogu or Grogu?
It is Grogu. It is
Good.
Grogu.
All right.
To give him his full name now, it's Din Grogu, because he's been adopted by the Mandalorian. He's actually legally his son. Not continuity. And I only know this because I actually revisited all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and the 3 episodes of the god-awful Book of Boba Fett that he featured in before this movie. Right, so are you familiar with The Mandalorian, the concept of The Mandalorian?
I'd be lying if I said yeah, vaguely. So a bit of a refresher's not a bad shout here.
So it's a loose Lucasfilm reworking of the concept of Lone Wolf and Cub, which was like a samurai and a little boy who just went on adventures together. In the case of the Star Wars version, it's a Mandalorian bounty hunter. Mandalorians being the same race that Boba Fett was, you know, with the helmet and the armor.
Yes.
You know the iconography, obviously. Our one here is named Din Djarin. He is played by Pedro Pascal in the series and the movie. Whether or not it's actually him under the suit, we don't know. We just assume it's a body double and he just does the voice, except for the 2 or 3 times he has to take the helmet off because it's meant to be like a big religious thing that you can't take the helmet off. Along the way, he has taken what we used to call Baby Yoda in as his ward, his foundling, his sidekick, and he takes him along on a series of adventures. He has now adopted Baby Yoda, whose name along the way, because he's mute, there was no way of knowing his name until he met Jedis, until he met Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka, and they could psychically determine, oh, wow, his name's Grogu. I'm like, oh, okay. Because, believe me, we were all very disappointed when we learned that was what his name was. Like everyone else, I preferred Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Or Baby Oda, as my nephew called him. Right, so he has now been taken on as a Mandalorian apprentice, albeit one with Jedi powers, because he's the same race as Yoda. They seem naturally sort of Force-sensitive. Now, coming off the back of the series, and at the start of this movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu have taken on an assignment working for the New Republic, the government that was formed by Luke and Leia and Han Solo after defeating the Empire. This is like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, say. And this job that they have taken on is they are going around all the planets of the outer rim of the Star Wars galaxy, picking off the escaped former Imperial war generals. You know, all the war criminals who got away after the war.
Yeah.
Because this is very Argentina post-World War II kind of an idea. And he's got a deck of cards with a different general on each one. He's going around picking them off one by one, with Grogu helping him out along the way, just popping up and using the Force to just detonate droids and things like that. He is given an assignment to go after this one, really a particularly bad one, the Ace of Staves, I think he's called, the card. Colonel Coin or something like that. But they don't know what he looks like or where he is. And the only way that they can learn... In fact, you know what? I'm telling you all this. I'm gonna let the Mandalorian's boss, whose voice you may well recognize, explain this for you.
I want you to go to Nal Hutta and meet with the Hutts. They've agreed to lead us to him.
What's in it for them?
Their nephew is being held against his will by another crime syndicate on the Outer Rim. And they need a professional to get him out quickly and quietly.
Where is he?
They'll only tell you in person.
You got a name?
His name is Rada the Hutt, the only surviving heir of crime lord Jabba the Hutt. You ever cross his path?
I tried not to.
So, do we have a deal?
I only hunt down Imperial war criminals. I don't work for gangsters anymore. Especially the Hutts.
That's right, you don't. You work for us. And right now, this is what we need you to do.
Martin Scorsese?
No, although he steals the scene he's in. That is none other than Goddess Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Just the thought of Sigourney Weaver just brings joy to me.
Aliens always takes me back to Aliens whenever I hear her voice.
Well, I mean, I've got the pulse rifle next to me. You know me, I'm a huge Aliens whore. But yeah, whether or not that or T2 is the best Cameron movie is the thing that keeps me up at night. I still think T2. But anyway. So she's the new the new Rebel, New Republic boss. So I'm going to get my Star Wars terms right in this. There's loads of supporting characters. There's a couple who turn up from the Star Wars Legacy one, who I did not know, But my friend Craig, who went to the screening with me, very much nerded out over. He's like, oh, it's Zeb! I'm like, who the bloody hell is Zeb? And then there was some bad guy with a Lord Raiden hat who turned up and said, oh, and I'm like, I take it you know this person? He's like, yeah, from... I went, I don't care. Just, it was kind of like that. But outside of that, I will say, outside of that kind of, that element, there wasn't much of the sort of fan service in there. I was actually kind of impressed how standalone this was. It wasn't even especially referential to the Mandalorian show. Like, you don't really need to have seen The Mandalorian. You can just watch this, and it works, because from the clip you've just heard there, you pretty much get, he's a bounty hunter, he's got a little Muppet sidekick, that's the movie, boom. But Star Wars is back, And to be fair, 7 years since the last Star Wars movie, and you and I have been working together long enough that we reviewed that. We reviewed that and the one before, actually. I think we reviewed the last 2 Star Wars movies. We reviewed Solo and The Rise of Skywalker. And both of those, in my opinion, represent the lowest point of theatrical Star Wars. I mean, I lived through The Phantom Menace, and somehow Solo and Rise of Skywalker are infinitely worse. At least there was a pod race and Darth Maul in Phantom Menace. Those movies had none of that. And one of those movies had Emilia Clarke in it and still managed to suck. I mean, I don't know how that happened. But Woody Harrelson and Emilia Clarke in a Star Wars movie, it somehow sucked. You couldn't see most of it, for one thing. But I actually thought this was kind of a breath of fresh air. It was a Star Wars movie that, for the very first time in a long time, had absolutely no eye whatsoever on here's what the next movie needs to be. It was a one and done. It was a solitary adventure that I didn't need to have seen the series, even though I had. And I don't need to see what comes afterwards because it doesn't in any way set that up. It's just a one and done. Go on.
But do you need to see, and this is probably a stupid question, do you need to see previous to understand this one? Or would it sit on it as a standalone movie if you just wanted to give it a go?
Works very well as a standalone film. I don't particularly know the lore of Rotter the Hutt and all that. I gather that if you're a fan of the Clone Wars animated show, this is probably nerd candy to you. It didn't matter to me. And he's voiced by Jeremy Allen White, for anyone who cares, by the way. And also there's a little monkey, like four-armed monkey alien, played by Martin Scorsese, who is just amazing. But the thing I loved about this was, on the one hand, it's a bit like Serenity, the Joss Whedon movie Serenity, which, as you can see from my right forearm, I'm a huge fan of. On the other hand, it's quite a lot at times like the mid-80s Ewok movies, if you remember those. Do you remember the Ewok movies?
I do.
Where there wasn't really dialogue in them. The Ewoks just made little cooing noises at each other, and they were like, they were literally little people in Muppet suits, in teddy bear suits.
Running around a forest.
So there are elongated periods of this movie, like half-hour stretch, for instance, where the Mandalorian's unconscious. And it's just Grogu, who can't talk, just running around with his little trio of Babu Fricks. I'm sure they have actual names, but I know the one character's named Babu Frick, so I just call them Babu Fricks. And it's just these little, making noises at each other. And I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. This is what I would take my nephew to. He would love this. This should be, the kids' first Star Wars movie. If it was the kids' first Star Wars movie, I think they would love this. Because, like I say, you've got cool-ass bounty hunter with the sexy armor and everything, and you've got his little adorable Muppet sidekick, and he's got the blasters, and the Muppet's got the Force, and it works for me. There are people that really want to tear this apart, and they were the minute they came out of the screening. There was one guy, some snotty, insert bleep here, that I was talking to, who went, "Oh God, it was garbage. It was just like the show." And I went, "Have you seen this show?" He went, "No." I went, "Then shut the up." And yeah. Now here's the thing. I want to make the same exact point that I made with Jack Ryan. If you can reductively call this a three-part storyline from an imagined fourth season of that show that has been edited together. But the thing is, that show was already made so close to the level of a theatrical blockbuster anyway, that what are you complaining about? You're basically complaining TV's too well made. Which, my lobster is too buttery, my champagne is too fizzy. Yo, do one. You know what I mean? Come on. You got a Virginia ham under your arm and you're complaining there's no bread. You know what I mean? What?
My caviar's too salty.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Can't you? Come on, you live in a time in which television is made to the standard of a theatrical film, and you're complaining that the theatrical film is too much like television, get some perspective. It's on an IMAX screen. It's got big explosions and blasters and robots and Muppets and Mandalorians and Sigourney Weaver in a flight suit. What more could you possibly want? And to be fair, I really can't answer it. I really can't answer what anyone want more than that. I was honestly relieved that for the first time I can actually remember I was watching a Star Wars movie that had exactly naff all to do with the Force or the Skywalkers or the Jedi, that was actually doing its own thing. Basically what Andor did on television. And don't get me wrong, I would love to watch an Andor movie. But I won't say that, broadly speaking, Star Wars is back, because that complaint is, I think, going to hurt this. That complaint will wound this movie. But I think, to be honest, next year, when we get the Ryan Gosling-led Star Wars Starfighter, which, by the way, if you don't know about that, is literally Top Gun in the Star Wars universe. Like, that's the next Star Wars movie, is Ryan Gosling doing Top Gun. Like, that, I think, would have been a better reintroduction, perhaps, to the franchise. But I think this is a really good, solid effort. And I think it's one that, for, like, kids, will be a great introduction to the Star Wars universe.
Well, The Mandalorian and Grogu is out in cinemas from today. That's definitely going to be in the top 10, I think, by next week.
I think that'll be number one. I think that will knock Michael off. I mean, it's an IMAX thing as well, so don't forget the tickets can be more expensive.
True. Good shout. Didn't think about that. Great. All right. Well, Van, what have we got coming up next week that we can look forward to?
Well, next week, the sort of biggie next week is kind of up in the air at the moment, because next week's big sort of horror, buzzy horror one, we don't quite know if we're going to see yet. That's
we're trying.
Back Rooms. We're trying. We're just trying to work out if we're important enough. Like, that's a thing. I mean, I'm not even kidding. They're actually trying to decide if we're important enough. There is a new movie called Tuna as well, which I believe that's Dustin Hoffman.
What, as in the fish?
No, not tuna. Tuna, as in radio tuna.
Oh! I was going to say, who's named a movie?
Do I sound
Tuna?
like someone who... Do I sound like someone who would pronounce tuna as tuna?
Well,
Come on.
Some people do say tuna rather than tuna.
I bet you that's how Danny Dyer does it.
Yeah,
Like
probably.
Tuna sandwich.
Yeah.
Tuna sandwich, you old tart. Yeah. I feel like that, wouldn't it? We've also got My Mother's Wedding, a new Universal comedy that's out, and one that I'm really looking forward to. This is a fourth part of a series that featured movies like Once and Sing Street and Begin Again. This one is about songwriting, because all of that guy's movies are about, I forget the guy's name now, they're all about songwriting and performing. This new one stars Paul Rudd, and it's called Power Ballad. And it's about the writing of this really big, like, breakout hit song and who gets responsible, who gets the credit for writing it.
This is right up my street.
Right, you get, yeah, see, right up. Yeah, I knew. It's like,
Yeah.
I've got to hook you up with that guy's other movies, because you will, if you've not seen Begin Again, you'll love Begin Again. Begin Again is an amazing movie. Sing Street is a period piece about discovering punk music in school. Which, again,
I need
think
to watch
you will
all
really
of
love.
these. And there's plenty of scope for that one as well, because I've got a mate who, I'm not going to mention any names, but he works in the industry with some very high-profile A-list celebrities, and he's told me many times about songwriting. And if he's writing a song with one of these celebrities, if one of their friends walks in at a time when they're at a point where they're kind of figuring something out, and the friend happens to say, "Oh, that sounds lovely, just do it a bit quieter, it'll sound even better," and then they listen, they have to pay him some of the money that's made from that song, and people argue over it, so they lock studio doors purposely so that doesn't happen.
You can just admit that your friend is James Blunt. We don't mind.
No, it's definitely not.
You sure? Because I don't know. He's been named and shamed elsewhere this week in much more problematic circumstances.
No, but yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting. So we'll hear what you have to say on those next week on the show. But we're out of time. That is all we've got time for this week on Off Screen. We will return next week. Until then, I've been Adam Ball.
I've been Van Connor. Keep it cinematic, and we shall return.